this short 60-day session. It's short but hectic. What is your assessment at this point of what's been happening?
Well, you're right. 30 days left. And we have been hearing from our constituents that we should be just concentrating on the budget. I think it's very hard to let people know that we are working on the budget. We have 3 appropriations committees where policy bills, see, this is where it gets confusing. We have policy committees that look at policy bills. But if those bills have fiscal notes, they have to become part of the budget. So then they go to the appropriations committees, which then recommend to Ways and Means. So it is a very convoluted process. Plus, we're also waiting for the February forecast in hopes that it goes up, not down, so that we wouldn't have to cut as much. We will have to cut. But so the assessment of the session is that we're right on track.
We know that it's going to be a stripped-down budget compared to the last one. You've got $1.5 billion more to close that hole. There are only so many places left to cut. You've cut over $12 billion over the last few budgets. What is your opinion of what's going to be happening with human services funding for the most part?
Right. So what's left is discretionary education, higher education, and social services. And, you know, human services is going to take a terrible hit. That means that we are going to leave a lot of people behind, whether it be Medicaid, whether it be low-income people who are trying to survive. The jobs market is coming back very slowly, so people don't have jobs. If they run out of unemployment, where do they go? And we hear people say, well, the churches will pick it up, and the Salvation Army and all the nonprofits will do their best to fill the gap. But the truth is, if we look at even the example of food banks, what happened getting up toward Christmas, through Thanksgiving and Christmas, the shelves were bare. And the organizations just cannot afford to fill the gap because the economy affects them as much as it does our social service programs. People don't have the money to give to fill in for those type of things. And so it's going to be very stripped down. We're going to lose a lot of human services. And I'd like to say that, and people don't believe this, in the end, it's going to cost us so much more because people will be sicker, children will be hungrier, people will be homeless, and people think those are just scare tactics, but they should come here and listen to the testimony of the people it will most affect.
Let me ask you about maybe the most controversial bill that's come up before the legislature in several years, and that is the marriage equality bill. It passed the legislature. The governor may have signed that bill into law before people actually see this video. Do you think a referendum on this is going to be likely?
I do. I think not only is there going to be a referendum, but there's going to be an initiative. And both of them will be on the ballot, unfortunately. The initiative would require a yes vote, and the referendum would require a no vote. I really would love it if we didn't have to go through this fight. It polarizes our state. It polarizes communities. And that's not what we need to be focusing on right now. We need to be focusing on jobs, jobs, jobs. And when you tear communities apart because one side wants this, one side wants the other, it's not productive. The legislature has done what it should have done a long time ago. And the appellate court in California upheld a decision of the lower courts on same-sex marriage. You know, this is not going to affect anybody's family. It's not going to affect school. It's not going to affect anything.
It's only 4 weeks now till the March 8th adjournment, and I want to find out a little bit about your priorities for how you're going to pursue your job as a legislator during the next 4 weeks.
Well, you know, I'm chair of the Working Families Caucus, and we meet weekly to decide what we're going to do each week and what bills we're going to advocate for in that. But truly, the most important thing is the budget. It doesn't matter what bills we pass. If they're not funded, they're not going to be written into law. The budget is a very, very complicated issue. And the other thing is, with the Working Families Caucus and every other thing, jobs is the most important thing. So we'll focus on our jobs package, which is in both the House and the Senate, and it will create 25,000 new jobs if we pass it. It will go to the ballot, and hopefully people will vote in favor of it because it'll put a lot of people back to work. The construction industry has been decimated. So these will be public works jobs that will hopefully put people back to work. And the other thing is to try to write a budget that will do less harm than what we think. But other than that, it's, and are we going to have a special session? The pundits say maybe. I'm hoping not. I don't think that it's good for the economy and that. But if it gets us to where we need to go, then I am all for it. And I hope that people will come down and listen to they can watch TVW on either their computers or on their televisions. And if they want to come down and see what we do here, it is really an education in civics. And I'm looking forward to our town halls, which are going to be February 18th. At 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll be at the Eagle's Nest at the fairgrounds in Silverdale. And at 1:30, we'll be at the Paulsbo City Hall. And that'll be from 1:30 to 3. So we look forward to everybody coming and asking questions.